Hi, I'm Nitzan Gable, and I want to ask you a question. Did you ever feel you're sucked into an argument that you didn't want, and you want to get out of it, but you don't know how? Story of my life. And so I became a mediator. Now I have the joy and the privilege of working with people who come to me because they have a conflict they want to resolve, and I liberate them from it. I find that uplifting. I bring them face to face. They share their pain. They listen to one another. They listen to one another. And then they brainstorm. Imagine they brainstorm together to create a solution so they can get out of that mess. I find that uplifting. They come to me, they're stiff, they're angry, they can't look at one another. I sit them down, and around the table, I create the space where they can share. They pour the whole thing on the table. I move them through the steps until we get a breakthrough. It takes an hour or two at most. And then they get up, relaxed, shake hands, and we created something. We all of us feel this breakthrough is really gratifying and worthwhile. Beautiful. I wasn't always that way, and I had to learn it because where I come from, it's not natural. Because I was born in a family. Now, if you were ever born in a family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. 2 parents and 3 siblings. And with all those people in the house, you just wake up in the morning, already there's disagreement. How did we resolve our disagreements? We argued. I'm right. You're wrong. Those kind of battles went on. I didn't like it, but I couldn't stop it. I didn't know anything else until I had 2 experiences that taught me not everything has to be argument. There's actually another way. First time was with my English teacher. I was 20 years old. I went to his house. I was sitting in his lounge. In came his daughter, also 20 years old. She said something just to annoy her father, and instead of having an argument, he did something I could never think of. He said, okay, you say that. You tell me what you know. I'll tell you what I know, and let's compare notes. That's not an argument. I couldn't compute that, but I knew it was special. A second thing that happened to me, 10 years later, I was with my friend. We were driving in the rain, and I don't know, we slipped into some discussion where he had to win or I had to win. And it was distressing. And I didn't want to spend the time with him that way, but I didn't know how to get out of it. And then he just drove, he pulled to the side of the road, and he looked at me and he said, hey, I don't know how we got into this, but I don't want it. And I actually think you're a great guy, Nitzan. I want us to stay friends. So let's stop. I could never think of such a thing. So straightforward and so beautiful. And so, as a result of these 2 experiences, I looked for a place to learn how to get out of arguments. So I become a mediator. And today, I have the joy and privilege of working with people to get them out of arguments. I want you to have something more than just my story. So I'm going to share with you a powerful tool that I invented that you can take home and use. Take your finger and point at yourself. How do you feel? Take your finger and point at your neighbor. Now how do you feel? I'll tell you how I feel. When I point at me, that's pressure. When I point at you, boy, that's relief. It's much easier for me to point to you. So here's the game. Whenever you feel you're pointing at someone else, take your finger and point at yourself. And remember, it's up to you. It's your responsibility to be the model of good listening, to be the model of someone who creates solutions. There it is. Use it. Go out into the world with it. Nitzan Gable, thank you for listening.